Hello and welcome to the Daily Forex Report for June 12th. We are looking at the U.S.-Japanese yen pair. This pair had a decent range day, but closed up. High to low wasn't a very strong range as far as that goes. About 8 pips overall, and we had roughly about 50 pips, which has kind of been par for the course. The U.S.-Japanese yen pair has not been having super large range days. I mean, we have them here. But overall, the average has definitely dipped lately. Now, in the Euro USD, well, actually, let's go back to the US Japanese yen pair. What we're expecting this to do is potentially go up to 80.02, possibly as low as 78.82. Look for some resistance around 79.95, and look for some support around 79.15. Now, the Euro-USD pair, it closed up during today's session. We are looking for it to potentially go as high as 125.77, possibly as low as 123.78. Look for some resistance around 125.50, and look for some support around 124.25. Now, the pound-US dollar pair, it moved to the upside during today's session. Overall, still moving sideways. Look for it to potentially go as high as 156.84. possibly as low as 153.96. Look for some resistance around 156.00, and look for some support around 154.50. Now, the US Swiss, this pair closed down during today's session. Look for it to potentially go as high as 0.9694, possibly as low as 0.9547. Look for some resistance around 0.9655. and look for some support around 0.9575. Now, as far as news analysis go, we do have the German Consumer Price Index being released, which will affect the euro at 2 a.m. Eastern. Consensus on that one is that it has held at 1.9% year to date. Now, at 8:30 a.m. Eastern, we have the advanced retail sales for May for the U.S. being released. Consensus on that one is that it has dropped from a 0.1% down to a negative 0.2%. Then a little bit later in the day at 5 p.m. Eastern, we have the Reserve Bank of New Zealand releasing their rate decision. Consensus is they're going to hold rates at 2.50%. Now, what am I looking for during this next session? Well, the Euro USD has pulled back during this last session. If we drop down to a lower time frame, say the 15-minute time frame, we can get a little bit better idea of what has been going on here. You can see that we had the large gap. It filled that gap. Now it's been moving sideways and is starting to move lower overall. If you draw a trend line here, to really see this thing take off to the downside, we would need to close below currently. Let me zoom in on this. Currently, we'd need to close below the 124.43 mark, and then we can look for this thing to move on down further, down to the downside. Now, over the next couple of sessions, over this next session, we could still see this sideways action that we have during the this previous day. But overall, we did have some strong movement. Look for these long tails. If you notice these long wicks that we have for reversals. Here's a great one here, and that actually reversed the long-term trend. If you catch these longer wicks, you can tell potentially where we're going to have a reversal. Now, from a long-term perspective or a little bit longer term, we have a trend line here. Covers at least one session, runs into the next session. This is how those long-term trends can really help you. So we have this really long wick, closes up, then the next bar, it closes above the long-term trend line to the downside, so a potential reversal is in play. Good time to go long. Now, if we take that even on a little bit smaller scale, really don't like using trend lines this short a time frame, but you can see here that we have a trend line that price has skirted, especially through here. Once we get a close below it, at this point, we don't go above it, and it started to reverse and head lower. So these are ways to use trend lines and look for potential reversals using these long wicks during the day. So when you're looking for this, make sure to keep an eye on it. Let's go take a look at the hour time frame. Get a little bit different view here. We have a, we definitely have this long-term trend line that we're looking for at this point. Market's gone up and then back down. You could probably draw trend lines off of that as well. So basically, overall, I'm looking for the euro to continue to the downside, but really to get a good move, to a sustainable move, we're going to have to get below this price. The 124.43, I believe, is what we had said. Looking for that to come on down. That's about 40 pips from where we are currently. As we've seen, we can have some pretty strong range days. But if we get a break of that, a close below that, then the next area that we're going to look for is this low, which would be a good drop of about 35 pip move. So that is what I'm looking for during this next session. The euro to move to the downside, break through, close below that, looking to short on that point, and then looking to exit at 124.08, which is right above a 0-0 level, which will help keep me out, hopefully, of a reversal. Well, I hope that helps, and until next time, this is Jason Fielder. Good trading.